To close out the Christopher Nolan region, we have Hacksaw Ridge, fresh off of a victory over Wolf of Wall Street against arguably the most iconic movie of the 80s, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Something I noticed? Breakfast Club did not make any draft.
I know.
How did that happen?
There were a lot of good 80s movies, man.
Yeah.
That was a deep draft.
We might have to have like what's the second tournament after the NCAA tournament? NIT. We might have to have an NIT bracket for movies.
I like that.
That's funny. Okay. Hacksaw Ridge and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Eric, which is a bigger trigger for fragile leftists?
I'm pretty sure that Ferris Bueller says some pretty off-color things by today's standards. However, the violence depicted in Hacksaw Ridge, especially that are almost nearly strictly on racial lines between primarily white Americans and Japanese, along with the heavy Christian undertones of the main character, I think Hacksaw Ridge would upset more leftists, along with also American imperialism and things like that.
All right. Eric's going to Hacksaw Ridge for most likely to trigger fragile leftists. Jake, what do you think?
I would agree. I mean, I think Ferris Bueller's Day Off can be offensive, but it's offensive in the way a lot of comedies are offensive, where they're generally crude, but they're not necessarily controversial. Whereas Hacksaw Ridge,
which was also directed by Mel Gibson. So
Ferris Bueller's Days Off was directed by
Hacksaw Ridge.
The whole premise of Hacksaw Ridge, though, is this man making a principled stand as a conscientious objector, but still wanting to serve
on religious grounds.
It's a controversial plot, so whatever the movie, it's going to be more triggering. And I would say in this case, because it is a war movie with showing American imperialism, I guess, if you want to put it that way, that is going to be more triggering to people on the left. So,
all right, Hacksaw Ridge takes 2. Cameron, what do you think? Which one's going to upset the snowflakes?
I'm going to go a different direction. And I recently watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, watched it with the wife and kids. And
it's so good.
It's so good. I forgot how good it was. But Ferris's sister is, the ultimate, second fiddle. She feels like, oh, he gets everything because he's a boy. Oh, he's the favorite. And I think the feminist left would be really offended by all of the praise that Ferris gets. Everybody loves Ferris. He's sick, and there's a drive on the radio for raise money for Ferris and all of this. His girlfriend kind of has like a hero worship thing going on. When he's doing the parade, downtown Chicago, and she just looks at him with so much admiration. The woke left is not going to like that. The relationships there with how females are second rate in that movie.
Cameron, that's a candidate for double points, man. Well done. And the contrarian angle. I love it. Let's start with Jake on this one. Jake, Hacksaw Ridge or Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Which is most deserving of a sequel?
Ooh.
Well, Eric, I got a question for you. What happened to the main character from Hacksaw Ridge after the war?
So he went home, he took up Krav Maga and learned to whip some ass.
Something along those lines.
It said this pacifism sucks.
So what actually happened to Desmond Doss after the war is he was wounded during his final action. That's the main part of the film on Hacksaw Ridge. And so he was wounded 4 times there. And then he had a left arm fracture from a sniper's bullet that happened while he was being carried back. He had 17 pieces of shrapnel, and he kicked a grenade away. Right.
I don't need,
Okay.
I don't need.
Hold on.
Because it's not going to change my answer.
He was, it's still worth telling, right? He was discharged with tuberculosis.
This is a history podcast, you guys. Let him do it.
He spent 5.5 years under treatment for tuberculosis. He lost a lung and 5 ribs.
Wow.
He was discharged from the Army.
Okay, I don't need to know everything.
With 90% disability. He lost all his hearing, but he did live to 2006, but basically just on a small family farm in Georgia. So
not a real exciting second half of his life.
But it's
going to be a drama.
My turn. Okay, just let me say my piece, and then you continue on with the biography of Desmond Doss.
Does anybody remember the question?
Sequel. Which one would have a better sequel?
Most deserving of a sequel. Thank you.
And sequels to comedies very rarely go well. And I don't think a Ferris Bueller sequel would be very good. For that reason alone, I'm going to pick Hacksaw Ridge. But because Eric gave the entirety of this man's biography in 2 minutes, you could do a lot there with him dealing with coming home from war, the PTSD, assimilating back into civilian life. And I think you could have a really compelling story there as well. So Hacksaw Ridge is my answer.
Going Hacksaw Ridge. Cameron, Hacksaw Ridge or Ferris Bueller's Day Off? More deserving of a sequel.
I want to know what happens to Ferris once he goes off to college.
Did he peak too soon?
Exactly. Does his girlfriend dump him for, the great athlete on campus and walk off into the sunset? Does he become depressed that, maybe he was a big fish in a small pond in high school? Maybe his life takes a turn. I want to see how Ferris does in college. That's my choice.
I like it. Eric Hoffman, what do you think? Hacksaw Ridge or Ferris Bueller's Day Off? More deserving of a sequel.
So I'm reading about Ferris Bueller's Day Off and the talks they had about a sequel and how essentially what they decided was this movie was great being kind of that flash moment in your life in high school, but they kicked around to the idea, it's going to be in college, but just for fun, what if they waited to do it? And the Alan Ruck, who plays Cameron, his friend, he said, used to think, why don't we wait till we're in our 70s, do Ferris Bueller Returns and have Cameron be in a nursing home. He doesn't really want to be there. He just decided his life is over. So he committed himself to a nursing home and Ferris breaks him out and they go, to like a strip bar and a bunch of ridiculous stuff happens. And then at the end of the movie, Cameron dies. So
don't like that part.
I think the way Jake said it works. Hacksaw Ridge is going to have the better sequel.
Whoa! After all that, geez,
I know.
You gave no love to a journey. Hacksaw.
Yeah.
I gave all my love when Jake was
breaking curveball.
When it was Jake's turn.
Yeah, you did.
Just my opinion on this. There's so many movies that are just great on their own, and a sequel gets made, and it's just a cash grab. And I as much as I would love to see a sequel, you're right, Jake. It wouldn't be good, and a lack of a sequel just makes the first one that much better. It stays as a classic, and I just hope they would leave it that way. All right, Cameron, we're going to start with you. Hacksaw Ridge or Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Which movie needs its own day? We live in a world with hot dog day and take your dog to work day and makeup day and everything else. Which movie needs its own day?
We have a lot of days in this country that are just nonsensical. We have a lot of really deserving holidays. We have Veterans Day. We have Memorial Day. We celebrate really heroic people in this country. Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah, there should be a Desmond Doss Day for obvious reasons. We have enough holidays, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off is really, that's Labor Day, essentially. We have that already. Doing that again would be too much.
Eric, what do you think?
What do you mean by we have Labor Day as Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
So, I mean, he's worked hard. He's an overworked senior and just needs a day off because he's running out of time and wants to blow off his responsibilities and that kind of thing. He plays hooky as opposed to a national holiday, but it's just kind of a lazy, don't accomplish. He does a lot of fun things.
Oh my God, he did everything.
Anything.
You sound like
right.
You sound like Cameron. That's what
I
you
don't
sound
know.
like. You sound like
I feel like
Cameron
we've
from
got
the movie. Like we haven't done anything fun today. You ate pancreas.
No, he did good things. I'm not gonna lie. It was a great day. I want that day, but we have enough days off like that. We have enough days that, hey, let's celebrate whatever. Hacksaw Ridge is a deserving holiday day off.
So much reverence. Eric, what do you think?
I mean, I think he's right. Hacksaw Ridge would be the day that deserves something. But maybe Jake can change my mind.
I'm glad you asked.
Jake, let's hear it.
I think you're missing the spirit of Ferris Bueller's Day Off by saying it's just like Labor Day. I think we do have some holidays where you just don't work, which is fine and is valuable in its own right. But do we have a day where you get to pretend to be Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago? Do we have a day where you get to sing Dankeschön in a parade? Do we have a day where you get to play hooky and dodge your older sister and the principal? Like, there's a lot of catharsis in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I think the way we do holidays is wrong. I think there should be some pageantry here. And that pageantry should be, go ahead and do all these weird things that you would never normally do.
Yeah, a day to suck the marrow out of life.
Yeah.
I changed my answer. Good job. I changed my answer.
All right.
Eric?
Does it all sit with Eric now? Is it 4-4?
Look at the look on his face.
Eric's already
right now.
voted. We're wondering if Eric wants to go back and revisit.
Look at this.
Is it 4-4?
For yet another military holiday.
Right,
I have 2 kids in the military. I get it. I love the military. Of course. But maybe, Eric, maybe.
I think it's kind of tough because I do think there's a place where we should uphold and really revere this kind of virtue that we see in Hacksaw Ridge from Desmond Doss. And I love this story. What Jake is saying is we need to be intentional about how we celebrate and how we do things. If we're going to have a day, we need to actually make that day about that thing. And if it happens to be a day where we go do something away from our normal routine, besides just taking the day off, that'd be worthwhile. So I think we should have a Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
Yes. We did it. Wow. Hey, that was teamwork.
That was impressive.
And you and you. You guys did that. You guys. This is
that was impressive.
If
people helping people.
If we're going to have a resurrection round somewhere with obviously Jesus and the Passion of the Christ, I would say Hacksaw Ridge belongs there. But
of course. Yeah. Jake brought it all back with the spirit. You're missing the spirit. Yeah. God, just mwah. All right. Well done.
All right. Some answers are compelling. Some you want to write it down. Some bring a tear to your eye. Some are just very convincing. Like,
can we?
Jake that was your closing statement.
Well, and Jake, ironically, attorney. The man who the best turnaround we had in a previous episode, the Kaiser roll turnaround. Yeah, that was Jake. Changed his own mind. So, given a minute to think about it. So, how appropriate, Eric? What do you got?
Can we go back to something? Because we were talking about baseball earlier, baseball having that kind of sound and the smells. And one of the things that happens in Ferris Bueller's Day Off is they go to a day game, day baseball game
at Wrigley.
And on a school day.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of it's a cool thing when students have in the past been taken out of school because they're going to go to a day baseball game.
Yeah.
That's cool. That never happens with basketball. Mm-hmm. Or football. It's a baseball thing.
It's a special moment to take a kid out of school for something like that. And not even the whole day, but you pick them up an hour early. Yeah. So you can get to 1 o'clock first pitch or something. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
You're sitting there watching the game, sounds and smells and sights, and your friends are stuck in like science class or something. Mm-hmm. Love it.